Chapter 13. Gwelhir. L. As Nelorith stepped out of the cramped path, she took a deep, grateful inhale of fresh air. One by one, the group emerged from the passageway, leaving the stone's cold embrace for that of a great forest. Lily, being the last to emerge, was greeted by Nelorith's outstretched arms, directing her attention to the magnificent forest unfolding before her. "Welcome to my home, friends," she declared with a laugh. These were not the familiar green trees she had seen in Arania. They grew high, their bark marbled with the marks of time, and on their branches were peculiarly shaped leaves that shimmered in a shade of crimson. She stared at the spectacle as if in a trance. Nelorith glanced back at the setting sun and asked them to wait for a moment. As the sun disappeared past the rocky formation behind them, a new marvel appeared. The leaves began to glow, as if each held a multitude of fireflies inside, lighting up the forest with a delicate, otherworldly radiance. The trees welcomed them with their gentle lights. The very essence of magic pulsated around them as they ventured toward the edge of the forest. The edge of the forest. Pyre placed himself directly behind Nelorith. He insisted on being first when Ghalen was present. But where Lily normally found him vigilant, she now thought he struggled with the task of keeping watch, marveling at the forest. She understood his wonder. The trees felt alive. She could swear roots and branches moved without the help of the wind, and there were noises like nothing she had heard before. Entering the woods felt like being swallowed by the forest. The air itself changed, vibrating with energy. Lily found her weariness replaced by a heavy daze from the thick atmosphere. It left her dizzy. Ghalen hurried past, matching Nelorith's pace, and whispered to keep their conversation discreet. Yet something in the air seemed to give Lily razor-sharp hearing.
"We must not take too long in the forest. It would be a fine sight if we find safety here, only to return to a burning kingdom,"
Ghalen said in a hushed tone. Nelorith responded with a nod. "I understand the urgency, my king. Luna's camp is nearby, just a mile westward. From there, Elgric's borders is a short trek northward. I strongly recommend we rest in Lunith. Beyond Elgric, the promise of safety becomes scarce." Ghalen glanced back at the others and then nodded in agreement. Pyre shook, and Lily heard Fina's voice behind them. "Everything all right, Pyre? You're not going sick on us, are you?" He turned with a smile.
"None to worry about. I just remembered something old Nan used to tell me about these woods when I was young."
Lily perked up. "Oh, what did she say?" Pyre gulped.
"In Gwelhir woods, one could enter in spring and return in winter. Fooled into thinking only hours had passed."
The forest wrapped around the party in a tight embrace. Fina swayed a bit in her step. "I almost feel like I've had a bottle of wine on an empty stomach," she slurred. Nelorith gave a soft laugh as she led them on. "It's the magic of the forest," she explained. "These trees are ancient, brimming with power. They share their essence with those they deem friends. A warm welcome of sorts, like the mountains in Arania or the wind in Ilskar. The forest has a will of its own." Lily's mind returned to the crest engraved on the elven gates in Ilskar, the shield-like formation with the 4 quadrants. So Gwelhir represents a tree engraved on the shields of the elven gates? Nelorith glanced back at her. "The glowing symbols of the gates?" "No, the forest goddess rules over Elgric. The spirits on the isle all have their own domains, but no spirit rules over Gwelhir. The forest governs itself." Nelorith caressed a tree as she passed it. "The forest is alive." Lily shared a skeptical glance with Haldor, but she did feel like they were on sacred ground, under the watchful eyes of the age-old Sentials. Pyre exclaimed,
"My feet are so light! It feels as though I'm gliding!"
His shout echoed through the woods.
"Quiet!"
Haldor warned, his voice tense.
"Have you forgotten we're near the border?"
Nelorith's voice was serene as she responded. "There's no need to fear the Elgric here, Master Haldor. The forest is its own protector. Few guards stand at its borders. An entire Elgric legion could march in, but they'd wander lost until they starved. The forest concealing what they sought and blocking their return." "Well, that sure calmed my nerves. Isn't that just lovely, Lily? We're walking in a magical, wondrous murder forest." Fina chuckled, her wobbly step somehow gliding her with ease across the tree roots. Through the haze, the party's journey seemed timeless. Hours, days, weeks, or even years might have passed under the forest's enchantment. Neither hungry nor tiredness helped Lily gauge time. She was completely captivated by the glow of the leaves and the fog clouding her mind. Coming up to a clearing, Nelrith announced, "We're here! Behold, the village of Lunith!" Pyor frowned.
It's the fog playing tricks on me.
Lily squinted. No village, walls, or homes were in sight. Just a clearing with sparsely placed trees. However, she made out 2 humanoid figures approaching in the distance. As the figures approached, their identities became clear. They were Gwelhir guards, tall and sharp-featured. Both had striking orange hair tied in tight braids, their cloaks matching the leaves on the trees. They greeted Nelrith joyfully in their native tongue, their animated conversation suggesting a heartfelt reunion. While Nelrith briefed them on something, they cast a quick glance at Ghalen before looking away. Turning to the rest of the party, the guards switched to the common tongue, greeting each member with polished elegance. When they bowed to Ghalen, the jester lingered slightly longer, though they refrained from addressing him by name. The mood changed palpably when the guards faced Lily. Their complexions pale and eyes widened. Their gaze made Lily step back, if only for an instant. What did he see in me? Nelrith whispered a few words in Elvish, and they regained their composure. Bending deeply, they intoned, "Welcome to Lunith, my lady," as the elves led them into what was supposed to be a village, which only contained a few empty carts and boxes. Lily glanced nervously at Nelrith. She hurried her pace to catch up to her. "Did they mistake me for one of you?" Nelrith answered without turning back. "No, Lily. The blue marks on your face resemble the markings of our forebears, the High Elves. To them, you looked like a legend come to life." Lily pulled her hood up. She wanted to ask more, but decided it might be better to do so in private. There had to be a reason the ranger had not mentioned it earlier. As they walked further in, Pyor frowned toward Nelrith.
What exactly about this patch of land is a village, Nelrith?
Ghalen patted him on the shoulder.
You slept in class again, Pyor. The Wood Elves live underground, remember?
Pyor stopped to scratch his chin. His eyes widened, and that was when Lily noticed the vast tree trunks had massive doors on them. Lily and Pyor watched the others go in. They both stood amazed. As the group disappeared out of view, she snapped back to the present. "Hey, wait for us!" She ran after them. The descending spiral made her concerned. "Will you be able to fit down there?" she asked Pyor, trailing after her. He was quite big, after all. He gave a worried frown. Yet, as they walked on, the corridors became more spacious. Pyor could stand tall with ease, and to Lily's surprise, the underground air felt crisp. She brushed her hand against the wall, noting its unexpected dryness. The stairways had a gloomy light, but she made out brighter lights up ahead. A magnificent hall stretched out, with ornate candelabras gracing the tables. But the candles were not needed. From the ceiling, countless roots dangled, glowing red, casting a comforting radiance. This appeared to be the main chamber of an inn. Food and drink were aplenty, but no innkeepers or servers were in sight. Anyone is allowed to walk back to the stock and get what they wish. Fina excused herself, claiming a thirst only the pantry could quench. She disappeared down the corridor one of the elves pointed her towards. Pyor's attention was caught by the mesmerizing ceiling. He got his papers out and sketched it down, adding the note, "Glowing roots." Twirling his mustache, he whispered,
How will I ever capture this for?
Lily glanced at the paper. "What are you drawing?" He looked up at the sketching.
Oh, this? I've made a promise to Tesora to sketch any exciting places I visit and write a little about it. We're going on a trip to visit them all when the war's over.
He beamed. His grin vanished as a sharp yelp came from Fina's direction. Without hesitation, he sprinted toward the sound, hand gripping the hilt of his blade, with Lily close behind. Reaching the scene, they found Fina entranced, a spilled cup beside her. "Fina?" she asked, glancing around warily. "Are you all right? We heard your call." Her gaze shifted to meet her, eyes glistening. "Oh, Pyor, Lily," she whispered. "I'm more than all right." As Lily tried to decipher Fina's expression, the others caught up, voices echoing Lily's earlier concerns. Lily's eyes landed on the sight that had captivated Fina, rows upon rows of the converted Gwelhir wine. Chuckling, Pyre quiped.
Our lady is all right. It seems she might be struck with an unhealthy affection for Gwelhir gold, though. We might need to protect the wine from her.
He laughed as he began walking back to the common room. Ghalen looked at the racks on racks of wine.
This many bottles of Gwelhir would fetch a king's ransom in the capital.
He whispered.
Or,
he continued,
Fina could hoard every precious drop if she was able to bring it back.
She shot him a sharp glance. What was that, boy? My relationship with wine is healthy. She took a moment, then added with a pointed tone. I merely appreciate the craftsmanship of this specific vintage, and so should you. In the chambers of the subterranean inn, the elves showcased the forest's offerings. Tables brimmed with cheeses, fruits, hearty breads, and colorful salads. As Fina sipped her wine, her eyes shone with unmistakable pleasure. It was a luxury in the capital, having become a rarity due to the ongoing war. This, she sighed, holding up her glass, is a treat I've longed for. You really should pamper me more often, Ghalen. Her words drew chuckles from those around. Ghalen simply offered a wry shake of his head in response. Pyre placed himself in a corner, trying for the 5th time to capture the magic of the roots on parchment.
Bloody impossible this is. I should just have to take my word for it.
He murmured, his gaze shifting to Lily. She put her hand on his shoulder. I think it looks good, and if you could help describe it, it will do just fine. She could see Pyre's eyes drift over to the table where the other sat, and a warm smile emerged on his face. Fina pestered Ghalen, who simply shrugged it off. Haldor was shaking his head at their squabbling. His lips had curled in something resembling a smile. I wonder if this is how they spent their days in the happier times. But then her gaze dropped to the floor. She knew those days were likely long gone, and all that remained was this war. Lily saw Nelrith heading toward the hallway leading to the pantry and decided to follow. Nelrith, do you have a moment? The ranger stopped. What may I do for you, Lily? She asked. Please, tell me about my people. There must be something you know. I've seen plenty of humans react to my face with confusion. But your people? There must be something. Nelrith turned to face her. Your people and ours are closely related, Lily. But thousands of years have passed. Little of that history remains. And what of it does, who can say what is true? I had hoped you might tell us why the gates remain locked. No doubt my brethren hoped for the same. But with your memories as they are, well, I hope they return. Not only to save the kingdom of the humans, but ours as well. Somewhat disappointed by her answer, Lily followed the others as they were shown to snug little rooms off the side of the common hall. Fina looked teary-eyed when she saw the feathered beds inside the rooms. By morning, the village buzzed with activity. It seemed as if all of the half-elves who lived there had come out, and the place almost resembled a real town now. People moved with purpose, ensuring the travelers were well equipped with new maps, fresh boots, and provisions for the journey ahead. As they resupplied and made their way to the edge of the village, one of the half-elves who had welcomed them approached. There was a sorrowful depth in his gaze as he addressed them. I do not fully grasp the reason for your journey to that forest. Elgricht is not a safe place to wander these days. Yet, if you must go, may the blessings of our forest protect your party. I will send 2 of our rangers, skilled at navigating the borderlands, with you. They will show you to the border, but not further. May the light guide you. He bowed deeply, and after a moment's pause, turned back to the village. As the forest grew less thick and as the mist began to fade, the air slowly cleared. Lily took a breath, feeling as if she had roused from sleep. She was well rested, and it felt like no task was too large in the world. She looked around at the others, who were breathing deeply and stretching their arms. She figured they must be feeling the same. How long did we spend in the forest, Nelrith? She asked, trying to remember. They had surely just spent the night. Yet if someone had told her they had spent a good part of the month resting, she would not have been surprised. Nelrith paused the humming of her song. We arrived at the village long after sundown and left in the morning. It felt as if with every step she took, there was one less tree surrounding them, until finally a giant crossing appeared. On one side were the white-barked elven leaves, and on the other, a much less cramped forest, one that stretched for leagues with an imposing barricade of colossal pine trees looming proudly, 5 times the height of the elven trees. The crossing appeared like a magic line drawn in the earth, beneath the 2 forests. There was nothing but earth, 3 paces wide where nothing grew. There was not a wall, fortification, or a guard at the border from either side. Haldor raised his eyebrow. Nelrith remarked, "The borders of Gwelhir don't need protection. The Elgrics spend their resources on the Iranian and Ilskarian borders, where the brunt of the war lies. Nobody can move an army through Gwelhir, either from our side or theirs. However, be under no illusion, the Elgric are crafty. Both their beasts and men will know of our passage once we walk these lands." With courteous farewells to the elves who had been their escorts, the group turned their gaze to the looming forest. Ghalen paused for a solemn moment.
Our journey through the forest must be quick if we are to reach the gate. And by Lumar's light do I wish we find something to help us there.
All those books on glorious battle, and that's the best you can come up with? Not very inspiring, Fina said, patting Galen's shoulder as she took the first steps across.